Welcome, everybody. This is Abacus Fish, and we are playing Old School Essentials via Roll20. I'm joined by a record number since session zero, 6 players. Big game today. We have Josh.
Hello.
We have Sophie.
Hello.
We have Seth.
How's it going, everyone?
We have Joe.
Hey there.
We have the creator of the Antagonist RPG, James Somerton.
Ahoy.
And we have Rob.
Hello, hello.
Okay, and so just so the viewers at home know what's going on, uh, this is a hexcrawl, and a hexcrawl means that pretty much I don't have any control over the player's direction. I have a map, I have a bunch of creatures, I have some villages, I got some treasures, I got some NPCs that have quests. I got pretty much anything you could want in a dungeon game. But the thing I don't have is control over the direction of the player characters. It is up to the player characters to decide in this open world format as to how to go about their day as they go day by day through these adventures. These refugees, these vagabonds of the North Shore. And with that in mind, let's hear about these characters. Starting with Josh. Josh, why don't you tell me about Mayred Farron?
Hello, hello. Erd Farron is a young elf around 280 years old in terms of the long lives of an elf. He has dark purple hair and violet eyes. He's rather small and slender for an elf, closer to a human size than what most elves would be. Uh, Tends to be light on his foot, keeps to himself a lot of the time, but does play well with others. Generally, still prefers to be out in the world with plants and animals. Uh, and he is helping establish a new home with these other individuals who've all kind of come together here.
All right, and Sophie, why don't you tell us about Kailani Farron?
Kailani Farron is a friendly elf with periwinkle hair and purplish eyes. She's not the biggest, but she's usually wearing some kind of like headband made from flowers or grasses. And she was there when the vagabonds of the North Shore liberated Nurton, and then she went with them on a little gator hunt, see what they could find. Yeah.
All right, and Seth, why don't you tell us about Therum Smith?
Therum Smith is very much an average dwarf in most respects. He's got a big bushy red beard and hair. He's carrying around his battle axe and his sling, and he's, I guess you would say, an adolescent, uh, or in his teen years, young adult years, for dwarfs, and he's a cousin of the late Goldie Smith. So yeah, that's Therum.
All right, and Joe, why don't you tell us about Stickbeard Smith?
The Stickbeard, Therum's uncle, is a stout, thick, broad-shouldered, middle-aged dwarf with a black beard that he's obtained from working as a blacksmith for basically his entire life. His work has given him a lumberjack build, down to earth, doesn't mind getting his hands dirty, very task-orientated, seems to be the instigator of a lot of the shenanigans that happens to the group, less because he likes the adventure and more just because he wants to get shit done. And for better or worse, has also projected. He has become the de facto leader of the group, not by his own volition, but because everybody else outside of the group seems to recognize him as such, and he just rolls with it. So Let's see. His experience with the group and the community has forced. Yep, there we go. Da-da-da-da. Yep, no, that's about it. Yes, I'm reading off my notes.
Hey, no, that's great. Good to keep notes. Hey, James, why don't you tell us about Guilford the Grand?
Guilford the Grand is renowned by his own word as a great hero of the land. Whether or not people generally believe that is a discussion. He is a tall, slender man with dark brown hair that is kind of shaggy on the shaggy side, and he has well tanned features and hands that are just beginning to develop calluses. He loves adventure and often is unsatisfied with the degree of heroics accomplished on the adventure, so when he comes back, he adjusts the tale appropriately.
Okay. And Rob, why don't you tell us about Locktar series?
Locktower series is a good old farm boy and is very stout and tall, and has a full head of dark brown hair and very clean shaven, and is just looking to go on adventures and help people out.
All right, and these are the player characters. When we start our day, it is the narrator searches his mental palace. Lots of rooms in this mental palace. Okay. Yeah. It is Nontity, the 9th of Florial, 7932 year of Cosgrove. The weather is partially cloudy. The wind is fairly mild. You guys, it is the day after you guys went on your big trip and you almost saw Big Pete. Just his footsteps nearby were enough to rumble the earth. The description of being some kind of Neolithic monster that has been feasting on heroes for millennia has definitely made you think twice before hunting. Also, all the NPCs telling you to not go after Big Pete. And so we start this morning. We'll start it with Mayred. Mayred, it is the morning has just broke. The dawn has just broke. People are starting to wake up. Where are you, and what is your first goal this morning?
Merid is, as per usual, taking kind of a stroll out around the exterior of the main structure, just kind of staring off into the water, uh, and looking around to see who else has made it up at this fine morning, uh, and contemplating the treacherous sounds we heard as we gallantly ran from the suspected site of Big Pete in our adventure yesterday.
Okay. So Mayred is kind of meandering around camp, seeing who else is up, and Kailani. Where does Mayred find you?
I will go ahead and default to back to the shoreline, just picking up some seashells in the early morning.
So Mayred, as you are looking around, you hear like a peculiar splash sound that doesn't sound like the normal waves, and you look in the direction of the shoreline, and sure enough, there's your cousin, Kailani, collecting seashells by the seashore.
Good morning, Kailani. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you, cousin?
Oh, faring well. Contemplating yesterday and feeling fairly disturbed.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna need to uh, beef up before we try and meet Pete again.
Yeah, yeah, we might definitely need more hands and just more experience, perhaps. I'm pretty sure our sleep spell's not gonna do much against that.
Indeed.
Okay, so while that chattering is going on, actually your chattering wakes up Therum. Therum, you're kind of in that morning stage where you're dozing, not necessarily sleeping, and just the slightest noise kind of wakes you out of a dream. You hear the chatter between two people. It sounds like it's coming somewhere by the seashore.
Theron wakes up and here's that and just thinks, "Gosh, where's my coffee?" Wanders over and pours some and wanders down to the seashore to see what the chatters about.
Mayred and Kailani, as you guys are chatting, a very groggy looking Therum walks with a mug full of coffee in hand towards you.
Good
Morning.
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 How's the sea looking today?
Fantastic.
Beautiful as always.
You seem to have your morning coffee now.
Oh yes. Wouldn't can't start the day without it.
How are you feeling about yesterday?
Well, we freed Nerton. That was glorious day. However, there's always more to do.
I wonder where we'll end up going today.
Oh, for reference, there, Seth, Nerton was a few days ago. Yesterday
Oh.
was Big Pete.
Oh, Big Pete. Yeah, Big Pete was a bit harrowing. Seems like there's more to the rumors than we had thought. I don't want to go unprepared next time.
Yeah. Might need to do some better surveying from a higher vantage.
All right, and while that's going on, the conversation picks up, and now Stickbeard Smith, go ahead. You wake up, and I guess introduce yourself into the conversation.
So I hear a bunch of chatty Cathys off in the beachhead as I'm waking up, and I'm like, what are they all gabbing about? And kind of saunter up to them, and it's like, what are y'all gabbing about?
Talking about Big Pete. How
Oh, jeez, yeah.
yeah. We'll might need to do some more recon and be extra prepared if we're going to take on such an endeavor.
Hey,
Not if
how's your new toy?
New toy?
So Stickbeard just look. Crap, I forget. Which character was that?
Bricker.
Huh?
Which character is who?
Who just addressed or asked the question about the toy?
Oh, that was Marin.
Married. Okay. I'm sorry. So Stickbeard just kind of glances at Merid and gives the best, like, if you know smile, and doesn't say it, but doesn't say anything, and kind of pats a pouch on his side.
Excellent.
and once the smile fades, Stickbeard is just it her. And then out of character, I was going to ask, like, I forget, is the Kraken still alive? Like, we haven't dealt with that either, have we?
No, that's still
Kraken's
down
alive.
there.
Okay,
Yeah.
so it's like, so then in character, it's like, ah, God, between Big Pete and the Kraken, we're just surrounded by monsters.
Big ones too. Think we're gonna need think we're gonna need a little bit of help with the one in our well if you if you think of it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, while that is going on, you guys are, chatting by the seashore. There's already someone else who is awake, tending to the shrine of Erda, and that is Loktar Series. Loktar, why don't you walk us through like a little bit of a ritual that you're doing with this shrine of Erda?
Well, it starts with some burning of incense and boiling of various tinctures and things like that. And part of that also is brewing up some coffee and starting the day off like that.
You are a practical druid.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, while you guys are over by the seashore and you're talking and stuff, actually, I'll leave it up to you, Loktar. Are you like interested in? You can hear what they're saying as you are preparing your coffee and ritual.
Yes, I will saunter on over to them and ask them what adventures they've been on as I've been away meditating and such.
Okay. And I do want to introduce the series family a little more formally here. So Loktar is part of a human family that hasn't gotten a lot of play, and that is um, they're basically a more naturalistic family. They are the farmers, but the one thing that makes them kind of peculiar among the human families, Shieldheart and Half Giant are more about um, the worship of Cosgrove and have their own kind of beliefs about Cosgrove, kind of thing. Uh, Compare that to the Ceres family. They have connections with Erda, so they are kind of like they are the weird human family.
Hmm. Oh, Loktar comes over, correct?
Yes. So, where have you guys gone? Where have you guys been?
We've been to quite a few little places and found all sorts of scary things.
Yeah, I was a part of the crew where we went to the tree and experienced all of the tree things with the undead and such, and the big blue orb and all of that. But it's been a while. Where have you guys?
We've met a couple other elves now. Uh, one of which is quite peculiar. We actually met him over a drink yesterday, and we've met an elder elf out here as well. He's got a lot of information. And,
Okay. So while you guys are chatting, the earth begins to tremble, and this wakes you up, Guilford the Grand. You've been sleeping in, but not anymore. The ground is shaking.
Hmm. Hmm. Something auspicious is happening. I must partake. I will stand up in whatever clothing I happen to sleep in. What time of year is it?
It is mid-spring.
Spring? Okay. Reasonably well clothed. Throw off my blanket and say, I sense adventure calls to me. Right now, in this very moment. Everybody, how dire is this rumbling? Like, is it gonna knock over a building?
No, it's not destructive like that. It's just very noticeable. Things that are kind of like set, like there'll be like kind of firewood stacked, and maybe like one piece of firewood kind of topples off, but it's not like the walls are coming down or anything like that.
Gotcha. Okay. So, I guess I will move out and see that a bunch of people are gathered around and say, "Ah, hello, everyone. I see you're all awake now. Uh, this quaking of the earth, I sense it's a sign of something grand about to happen. What say you?"
it would appear so, as you're in very light dress, so suddenly appearing here.
I couldn't waste any time with such nonsense as pants. Things needed to be dealt with immediately, potentially.
Do you feel like going to figure this out?
Absolutely. I fear that one of the great beasts that we have angered over our many adventures may be seeking vengeance.
Perhaps we should prepare to move out. Perhaps you might want to acquire more suitable dress for investigation.
Ah, yes, pants. One moment.
Look at those
Um,
britches.
Guilford will go and finish dressing, put on his armor and equipment,
All
and
right.
head back.
From
Do you
the
guys think that's the Kraken?
uh,
Sorry, go ahead.
from the south, you guys see it. A large riding party. They go off the road like you have gone many times downhill towards the pass that you guys have taken many times to get home, coming up north directly towards your position, and it's getting closer. Um, the breadth of them is so wide as the riding line gets closer. Women and children begin screaming and sheltering into the Temple Mount, and even Orntish and Vothig go in, along with the merchant. What is it? Jonathan Fairlight. They all scurry in as this large riding party comes towards you. They are carrying huge banners. One of the banners that you see is a yellow and purple banner. It is a lute resting on a chair.
Loot resting on a chair. Can you expand upon that?
Yeah, it's purple with yellow trim. Purple with yellow trim. Yeah, depicting a lute resting on a chair. and that is the banner. Lute being the instrument.
Right.
If any of y'all remember what Luthieus did actually explain which banner this was to you.
I do recall, but I did not write it down.
That's Evenson's banner. As in King Warren Evenson.
So, does Loktar sense any sort of immediate tension, or are people about to draw their swords? Like, what is the level of threat here?
No, this is actually fairly terrifying. A bunch of, a riding party in full barding and armor, riding on you guys with, their spears ready, carrying their banners high. You honestly feel like they're leading a charge on you.
They're coming to ask us for help.
So, but kind of sussing out the party. How prepared are they, I guess, to meet this threat? Or are they
Oh,
wanting
that ain't
to
happening.
Well, I mean,
retreat?
yeah. So, Locktar, Locktar. Why don't you ask the party how Locktar would ask the party about this threat?
What's going on, guys? Who are these people?
Be ready. They come to challenge the greatest warrior in all of the land. You can see it in their eyes from here. Through their
Okay.
helmets.
I don't know.
Loktar readies his bow.
What family did you say this was again?
Even
What
song.
house? Evensong.
King Warren.
Theron grabs his shield and mace and readies, but
Yeah, it's
hope
one
it
of those
hope it doesn't come to violence.
Marriage
right.
more
One of
casual.
those
He's just
situations
walking out
where it's
front.
like, so for Loktar, it's one of those situations. Do we draw our weapons, or do we kind of just stay at the ready and are aware of the situation, but we don't want to present a threat if met against an undefeatable force? You know, like, should we just play it cool, or should we go ready for battle? I guess.
Okay, so how about this? Just to kind of bring some order to this sequence, I'm just gonna go down the line, and every player is just gonna kind of respond how they and say what they want, and then we'll start. We'll start with Mayred, and then go from there. So Mayred,
Yep.
huge battle lines riding towards the village. Your fellow refugees are scared. Running into the temple. What are you doing?
Remaining relatively unfazed. Not terribly worried. Walk out in front of our structure, actually just kind of hanging out by the little pathway that would lead in. And just watching them approach, making no motion of violent action. I'm rather curious to see if they actually send an envoy ahead to talk or if they just ride right up.
Okay, so Mayred stoically stands brave, like, like side by side with your compatriots, waiting as the riding party gets closer.
Yeah.
Okay, Kailani, what are you doing in this situation?
I will go stand by Merit, and I'm not gonna I'm gonna try to not look threatening because I don't want to give them any more reason to like be super anti-elf when they come up here. So
Yeah,
just
we already have enough problems with that, so.
Okay, so you two kind of basically are just like the rock against the tide, just staying firm.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
yes.
And Therum, you mentioned that you were drawing your weapon.
I mean, not in any threatening manner. But I'm definitely. I've got a hold of them, and I'm just sort of watching these guys uh, ride up on us. I'm just trying to. Maybe I'm heading. I'm kind of standing towards the back, just you know, just
Maybe
looking.
somebody wants to wrangle Lucky in.
Yeah,
Yeah. You guys are able to
I
wrangle Lucky in.
yeah.
Okay, and then Guilford the Grand, or I'm sorry, I missed Stickbeard. Stickbeard, what are you doing throughout all this?
Just I am thoroughly convinced that these assholes are going to want, or yet another group of people that are going to want to talk to the leader of the group. So I stand to the side of everybody else who's decided to meet this group of people. And I've got my hand on the hammer.
Let's
Okay,
go, Stickbeard.
so the dwarves like have their weapons ready, but not brandishing them, and the elves are kind of standing stoically. Um, Guilford, what are you doing?
Well, normally Guilford would run and hide and take up a position to attack them from behind in case they were hostile while the party deals with them. But given that everybody in camp is watching, Guilford will take his sword and move up with his hand on the hilt in a ready position as if approaching a duelist that he was going to duel, and stand as face forward as he can in front of the group to like kind of suggest that they should be talking to him, and wait stoically as the horses ride up. Guilford's will break if it looks like the horses are charging over him, but otherwise he's just going to stand there.
All right, so Guilford takes point, and Locktar. So yeah, that's basically like you asked, what are we gonna do, and that's how the rest of your party members just kind of respond to the situation. So what does Locktar do in this situation?
Just following along at this point. Just kind of taking like picking up on people's facial cues and whatnot. Uh, Locktar's kind of out of the loop.
Yeah, I'd like to think that Locktar does stand ready, but he's kind of looking at everyone else, kind of like, oh, are we really doing this? Okay, I guess we're really doing this.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, the rumbling gets like far louder, and the horses stop, and there's just like this, like about over a football field away. There's like just this wide breadth of cavalry, and they are, they're just standing there, and eventually someone wearing a fine tunic and fine puffy trousers and long riding boots comes riding on this really fancy looking horse. He doesn't have a helmet. He's polyethnic, tan skin. Shrewd looking brown eyes, completely shaved bald, completely clean shaven, no beard. Looks to be in about his 50s. and looks a little shorter than average. Why don't some of you give me a wisdom roll? Except for, well, yeah, Locktar, you can give me a wisdom roll too. Oh, yeah, they might need your wisdom roll, Locktar. At this rate. Oh, okay. Though I'm not actually sure if it makes sense for Mayrid or not, but oh well. I'll just overlook that detail. Okay. Mayrid, for
Whatever reason.
for whatever reason, Mayrid, you're like, you're looking at this guy, and oh yeah, he's also got a pin on his fine tunic. It is a hand holding a crown. Anyway, yeah, and as he rides up, Mayrid, you are like, huh, he looks a lot like Lita Vargas. He could be like Lita Vargas's dad or uncle or something. Anyways, he marches up. Um, only about 20 feet in front of the riding line. He then unfurls a paper and yells, "To Lord Stickbeard Smith, noble and valiant defender of Vasseth, by the grace and the will of His Majesty King Warren Evenson, sovereign ruler of Vasseth, keeper of the realm, and guardian of the faith, these are the very words of His Majesty, and I speak with his voice. Greetings unto thee, esteemed Lord Stickbeard Smith. Know that your deeds of valor have resounded through the realm of Vasseth. Your courage and prowess in saving Lady Anna Rivercob, and your instrumental role in the recent purge of the undead have not gone unnoticed by the throne. Therefore, it is with great honor and gratitude that His Majesty summons you to the great hall of Castle Vasseth immediately. Your presence is requested at a council of utmost importance, where matters of state and the welfare of our realm shall be discussed. Come prepared in the regalia befitting your noble station, adorned in the symbols of your bravery and loyalty. Let no hindrance prevent you from attending. For your insight and counsel at this critical time are necessary to the crown. Long live King Warren Evenson. And then the whole writing line behind him shouts, "Long live King Warren Evenson!" And then he slowly rides towards you.
I pull, I pull, I pull my chin out of my chest and stand as straight up as a dwarf can. and a and a deep and take a deep breath and just let this continue. Like like stare at actually even so I will take a step forward to meet this rider.
As he's stepping past me, I'm gonna nudge him and be like, "I told you they were coming to ask for help," says Merritt.
I'm looking. So, all right. Where's Guilford? Where's that ass?
Right in front.
Good.
Please.
Please.
Get moving.
And flanked by Merritt and Guilford, I let this messenger approach.
You got
Okay.
this, Stickbeard.
Yes, you got this.
I feel like I'm being punished for my inability to remember names. Anyways, I'm here. I'm here.
So the man approaches you on his horse. He slows down and he goes. He looks at you and goes, "Lord Stickbeard Smith."
I
He hands you the letter. It has the seal, a wax seal on it, purple and yellow wax seal, with the lute resting on the chair. And yeah, it all looks pretty official. And as you're reading it, he goes, "I assure you that is valid. I am Albrecht Vargas, the king's hand, and I was charged with bringing you and your bannermen to the castle Vassith immediately. We have brought horses, so the trip shan't take long. Please, we will give you a few moments to prepare yourselves."
How many horses do you have? How many people can you accommodate?
Uh, well, at least a full garrison.
I think that means that anybody we have here could probably go.
I was not expecting such an elaborate request. You will forgive me, but we shall be ready soon. Thank you for the moment. We will prepare at once.
Very good. I will let the stable hands know immediately. And he rides back to the riding line.
And I turn to Guilford and Merritt, and I look the two of them in the eyes, and I go, "Well,
Oh, we need to get you dressed, sir. You are not.
oh
While
God,
you are fit in spirit to represent our noble people, your outfit leaves much to be desired at this juncture.
you don't
Have
think
I
I
got
know
the
this?"
jewelry for you?
Perhaps we should have soaked up your beard yesterday.
No amount of soap will ever take the black out of this beard. 'Tis would be easier to pretend to be naturally black my whole life. Just leave that be. I will find some raiments. I can at least. Jeez.
Let's get ready.
Yeah. And yeah, but fudge. Where is? And I go to Kailani and Farron, and I let them know, and I implore them, and I implore them like, "Oh God, how do I talk to these people?"
Just be, you know, positive and
Wow.
complimentary. I'm sure this will go well.
You're the man.
And then Locktar, I'm like, just pray, just pray, and don't stop.
Locktar is praying very hard.
Thank you. It is appreciated. Do we have where? Bringing
We
up the
absolutely
hall.
have bling.
Yeah, that's. I'm literally going. Do we have bling in the hall? What here is the prettiest?
We have a couple more valuable things in
Yep.
there. I was pretty sure.
We've got a crown.
A platinum one.
I would almost be afraid of wearing that for
The
fear
crown.
of, for fear of like trying to look like a king, which I am most decidedly not. Do lords
I mean,
wear
out of
crowns?
character, that's very wise, but Guilford is retrieving you the crown.
So you haven't seen any lords wearing crowns.
Yeah. So. Hmm. 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 Actually, no. Yes, please, please grab that. And is anybody against giving this as a gift?
No.
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 Remember what I said about jewelry, right? It's like way more valuable as a set than it is as individual pieces.
There's 2 bracelets and a ring with that crown.
It says we gave it to King Scratch. Did we ever retrieve that from him?
That was
Unfortunately, I don't
one
think
of
so.
yeah, no, that was
No,
one of
that
them.
was the yellow and gold pearl set.
Oh, okay.
The platinum one's
No,
at
I'm talking
the
about the
bottom.
crown. The crown says we gave it to King Scratch.
What?
The yellow and pearl crown you gave to King Scratch, yes, but
we have a platinum one down
you
below.
have a platinum
Oh,
set.
gotcha.
So I would propose preparing the platinum set as a gift for the king and wearing the white set as best I can.
Yeah, that could work. A bracelet, necklace. Yeah.
That's a good
Wear the
idea.
white. The white will contrast and complement your black beard.
Once we get it black again, anyways.
All
Well,
right.
that's the secret. Even if you try and wash it, it'll just wash away to black.
Yeah, but it'll make you lighter.
Fair. I feel like we need a banner.
We should. We absolutely should. We're the vagabonds of the North Shore. We should have a banner and a sigil and a flag. We need a flag. Do we have a flag?
That's something maybe we should add to the queue of things for crafty members of the crew.
Certainly been on the to-do list, so we'll give that some thought.
Well, all right. Probably, unless somebody comes up with an idea, I can't think of like a convenient thing to pull out of it or pull out for a banner. But at least one lord with five advisors of varying sorts.
Oh goodness. Better start stacking up your entourage.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all right. I'm sure with our name alone, we'll probably have plenty of people going, "Oh, really? The king wants you in service, huh?"
King wants to wrap his hands around your neck. Oh, I see. How lovely.
Let's see. Do we have
Wait,
any nice
wait.
clothes?
All this banter. Oh, Matt.
As soon as you guys are basically all loaded up. Yeah, everybody's determined who has what magic item and stuff, and
Excuse me.
before you leave town.
Just because, and as always, unless somebody specifically wants it, I think I'll pocket that ring of invisibility again.
Yeah.
It's
I usually
always
run
nice
around.
to have.
Yeah. I usually run around with the ring of fire resistance and the silver shield. Cool. Yeah, I'm set.
Other than that,
I'll take some centipede poison and goblin grenades.
do. So, this one.
Taking the hammer, or the
Where
I
did
think we
that
called it brick
go?
breaker.
Right. There.
And then I've got that white set and I'm wearing it. I don't think. No, I think that's good. Like for now.
Tally 4.
I'm ready.
If everybody's geared up, we can move on to Castle Vassith. You guys fast travel with the horses, so
Excuse me. Sorry, I'm just adding a couple notes to the hall. Ding.
So Castle Vassith is kind of like in this crater, little bit, this mountainous ring that has occurred, and then there's this valley in the middle of it all, and that's where Vassith has settled. You guys approach Vassith, and there are exterior constructions that seem really well maintained, but upon further inspection of the masonry, because you guys have been living around the ruins, you realize that large parts of this city, especially the walls and the roads, are of the same ruins that you guys are squatting in.
Huh.
Hmm. Oh gosh, that's a nice map.
Oh, I thank you. You guys come in through 4, which is the Merchant's Gate. And I do have a map for that, but we'll just actually just swing by Merchant's Gate, and you guys are taken pretty much directly to the castle.
Oh boy.
Dude.
So you're saying that the outskirts over here, the ruins, are similar to our kind of outpost?
The walls and the roads, yes. And as you approach the castle, yeah, even parts of the castle. It's just that it's better maintained. That's the only difference. It doesn't look as ruinous. And you guys enter through the castle into the keep into the inner ward. You enter through the top right here. Oh wait, I'm GM painting. I need to be... There we go. Actual painting. You are led through a hallway. You can see that this is some kind of barracks / guard room area. There are guards here, more guards. Oh yeah, by the way, the people escorting you at this point, like most of the riding party, has stayed outside of the castle walls. But the people who kept escorting you into town, there was one very large knight, very broad-shouldered, very tall, very imposing figure, wearing a cape of white and gold. They have a shield with a crown wrapped around it. It's gold with a white trim. However, his cape that he has, because he's wearing like plate armor with a cape and a helmet, so you can't necessarily see who the person is, but he looks important. But the cape has these little purple sewings, kind of like stitching patterns on the edges. And yeah, so he looks very very regal. And then the other person, of course, escorting you is Albric Vargas, the guy who introduced himself as King of the King's Hand. They first put you into this room. Oh yeah, by the way, as you guys are walking through, especially Mayrid and Kailani, you are getting nothing but dirty looks.
Well, yeah, we're elves.
And
Ish.
go ahead and all of you give me a hear noise check or listen at door. Same thing.
Awesome. Go, Kaylani.
Oh, hey, yes.
Yay.
So yeah, Kailani, you hear stuff like, "Oh, they're letting limb walkers in here now." Gosh, wow. Oof. I hope they leave soon.
I wish I failed the roll so I didn't have to hear that.
Just ignore him.
You're put in the waiting room for or this it looks like some kind of solar or whatever, and you're held here for a while. The throne room doors are closed, but and wow, AI map maker strikes again. There's that bench, and it's halfway into the archway, and I didn't catch it until now. So yeah, people are tripping over the bench as they. People wonder why they just can't move the bench, and someone says it's too late. We're not using the map maker anymore, and nobody understands. Anyways, gosh. But just pretend that bench is like, a few feet away so the archway is clear.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
But there are big, heavy doors, and, they've remained closed. You guys wait about 30 minutes and then 45 minutes, and eventually the doors open, and a young boy plays a trumpet and then says, "Lord Steakbeard Smith, please come into the King Warren Avonson's throne room. You are being hailed." And plays the trumpet again.
I heard you.
Lokar looks excited to be going forward, but has no idea what's going on.
I think that's all of us.
Yeah, so you guys walk into the throne room. There are a bunch of white and gold adorned knights, and they got the shield with the crown around it. And then, of course, that really large, imposing knight. He's standing by the king's side. Oh, there's also the queen.
Loktar is immediately less excited and just kind of solemn and intimidated.
Okay. So I'm going to drop a whole bunch of NPC descriptions, okay? Because there's like a whole court here. So let's start with the king, King Warren Evenson. He's tall with gold and silver mane, just this big beard. He's a white guy. White guy. Tall, and yeah, he's got like white and silver, or gold and silver beard, gold and silver hair that just looks like this lion, like aging lion's mane. And he's got piercing blue eyes. He's got a simple banded crown that has one shield with some cushion cut rubies in it, but it's a fairly simple crown. And he wears big, giant purple and yellow robes, and it's got like gold embroidery sewn into them. And yeah, from his neck hangs a lute, like a gold lute, and it's got some some gem studs in it to make it look fancy. So that's King Warren Evensong. Then there's Queen Rihanna Evensong. Um, she's a white woman with dark hair in very elaborate braids. She has a shield similar to Warren Evensong's, just a simple band with a shield and some rubies in the shield. but then she also has some emeralds in the band as well, so it looks a little fancier than Keen Warren Evenson's. She has gowns of blue and green, which are the colors of river cob. And she has like silver rings adorned and a silver chain necklace. And then there is a tall black lady, old. It's got gray and white hair, with tired brown eyes. She has like she's kind of like hunkered over a cane. And for as tall as she is, and she's still hunched over. She's still taller than average. And she kind of just like gazes at all of you as you walk by. Oh yeah, and a big blue hooded robe. Then there's that big gentleman that I already told you about, the guy who, the white and gold knight, but he's really big and imposing, and he's got like purple embroidery on the trimming of his cape. Oh, also, he's the only one with the cape. Every other knight has a tabard. He has a cape. Then another person. This guy looks shorter than average. He's wearing like a gambeson, and he's got riding boots on, like light armor, something that a scout would wear. He's got a hooded cloak, like greenish brown. Shorter than average. Tan skin. Dark hair and brown eyes. And another figure, tall, slightly tall, but rather fat, very fat white guy, wearing a crimson blood red robe, and he's got a hood on, and it's covering his eyes, so you can only really see his mouth, but his eyes are shadowed in obscurity. He's fiddling with prayer beads, and hanging from his one of the prayer beads is a shield. You recognize this as a symbol of Cosgrove. And that's everybody in the court. As you approach, they ask you to stand before, but do not touch the seal. The seal being this. So they ask you to approach, but do not touch the seal. So basically, stand right here.
Okay.
All right.
Keen Warren Evenson, he kind of, he looks up and he goes, Lord Stickbeard Smith, your bravery and capability shall be recognized henceforth. Your arrival couldn't have been better timed. You have the Kingdom of Vassist's thanks. Please accept the hospitality and stay at the Soldier's Salvation as long as you wish.
You do us a great honor for housing me and my people, especially the elves among us. You take considerable risk. To the matter at hand, though.
When you talk about the elves, there's some grumbling. There's like, but then Keen Warren Evenson, just by lifting his hand, the room goes silent. Goes.
Yeah. And on that, it's like, thank you. How do you address King? Thank you, my king, and I bow.
Your Majesty.
Thank you, Your Majesty. And I bow.
The tall black woman, in the blue hooded robe, leaning over her cane, she starts kind of walking into the seal with her cane making this loud, sharp tapping noise as she approaches. But, Your Majesty, we have been looking into these vagabonds of the North Shore. They bring magic weapons into the court. And there's kind of some gas like, magic weapons, oh, surely bad news, oh. And then the hooded guy in the crimson red robe with the prayer beads says, "Now, please, can't we be more forgiving and learn from Cosgrove? In the book of Sodom, chapter 4, verse 1, Ukidin's trial. Was it not Cosgrove's wisdom that saved all of us? It was his mercy at Ukidin's trial that showed him the light. We shan't be persecuting these saviors of ours." And there's like some grumbling. And then the guy in the red robe adds, "And we don't know where that necromancy came from. Isn't that right, Your Excellency, Grand Mason Idemir?" And, the woman in the blue robe figure goes, "Oh, it did not come from us. It came from somewhere else. And until we know where it came from, can we truly trust these vagabonds of the North Shore?" And then there's like more. And then the Grand Mason raises her hand and says, "Your Majesty, if you would allow me, I would like to take the precautions of controlling the security detail of our guests as long as they stay in the city of Vassith." And Warren Evenson kind of looks at his captain of the Kingsguard, the guy with the purple and white gold cape, and they both nod to each other, and he goes, "Very well. Grand Mason Idemir, they are under your escort. Now, the other business. It would seem that you have settled in this land. And though technically I do not control it, the Crown of Vassith hasn't seen that region, I will do you the favor of adopting your nation. Stickbeard Smith, step into the seal."
I glance. I glance at all of my compatriots.
Little thumbs up. You got this.
Jeez. It's like, should I do this? Should I do this? Should I do this?
Squire!
Reassuring grimace from Merritt.
The king calls out, "Squire, my sword!" And, this kid kind of runs up. He unsheaths the sword. "Kneel before your king." He's talking to you, Stickbeard. Actually, he's talking to all of you.
And I step forward and I kneel in the seal. Oh God, that sounded so hokey.
Yeah.
Kneel as close to the seal as possible.
He puts a he holds out his sword and he says, "I knight thee, Sir Stickbeard Smith, Lord of the West March. From henceforth, him and his holdings and his people and his region shall now known be as the West March, and they are under the protection of the Kingdom of Vassith."
Yay.
Congratulations there, Sticky.
Oh God. I. Whew. Hooray! We've established a new community. Oh God, we're part
An
of the kingdom
official
now.
community.
So, guys, change your title too from Vagabonds of the North Shore to Heroes of the West March.
Oh boy,
Like,
I hope this doesn't start any political conflicts.
Oh, it's
I'm just
bound
going to be
to.
an I'm just going to be an asshole and put Lord of the West March in mine.
Go, sure.
are we just pinning this in like offline kind of thing on notes?
There's actually a title
Yeah,
place on your
on your
character sheet.
character sheet.
Oh, yeah. Mine says title.
Mine says
Congrats, you have
title.
a title now.
Oh,
Guilford, you are you are Lord Knight. You are High Lord Knight of the West Marches. Merid, your
Perfect.
Chancellor. Therum, I'm figuring something out. Kailani, you are High Priestess. Loktar, you are High Priest. Pope, Pope of the West Marches.
Yeah, I
Where's
don't
the
know
top?
about having multiple high priests.
They're
We'll
I
figure
ish
something out.
Just doling out titles left and right.
Where's
You
the
made your
title?
part.
Yeah, so the once that happens during the whole knighting ceremony, there's like a lot of just oh my god, oh, I can't. Go ahead and roll listen at door hearing noise check.
We hear nothing.
I have cloth for ears today.
Wait, didn't Loktar get it, or was that another roll? Looks like Loktar succeeded. Or is that?
Oh.
Yeah, is that right? Okay, yeah. So Loktar, you hear stuff like, what is our Majesty doing? He's going to let a dwarf be a lord. This is going to cause war. Yeah, this is a farce. You know, stuff like that.
Oh, just wait till the elves are running the show.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
And yes, after the Sir Stickbeard Smith, we shall have a festival in your honor. But until then, please stay at the Soldier Salvation for now. Enjoy your stay here in the Castle Vassith.
Thank you, Your Majesty. And it feels a pittance, but we did bring a gift should something like this occur, and I feel it no better time than now. And I present the box with the platinum set.
Okay, yeah. So everybody in the room, just all the side whispering and remarks, all go silent as soon as like you start pulling out that jewelry. Like everybody's eyes are wide open and they're looking at the sparklies, and the queen like lowers her fan. She's had a fan kind of covering her face this whole time. She kind of lowers the fan and says, "A most gracious gift. Thank you.
It is the least we could do to repay the honor that we have received this day, Your Majesty.
And then King Warren said, Evenson says, from now on, ye are citizens under the protection of the Sea of Vassith. And there's like some grumblings, and he goes, it is my word as king. And everybody says, long live King Warren Evenson.
Long live
live
King
King
Warren
Warren
Evenson.
And so with that, he sits back down and he kind of waves you and goes, you can leave now. Guards, is like, Idamir, I guess you will handle the transfer. Yes, Your Majesty, it would be, it will be no problem. Yeah, no trouble at all. And then she turns to you and goes, right this way.
Give a curtsy to the court and then follow her out.
Light bow, back up 3 steps, turn around, and walk away.
And as you guys are walking out, like, you notice that Idamir passes by the red robed figure with
yeah,
the
she seems
prayer bead.
shady as everything, so.
Yeah. Idamir walks by the red robed figure, and they both kind of stare daggers at each other for a minute before she keeps walking. And leads you out and to the castle ward, but kind of goes right outside the castle walls where there is a tower-like structure. There are all sorts of kind of star chart patterns on the walls, but when you get inside, you find yourself in some kind of classroom.
Huh. Odd, but okay.
There's other figures wearing blue robes, and as soon as Idamir walks in, all of them basically drop what they're doing and go, "Oh, Grand Mason, yes. How can we help?" One of them approaches. I'm not done with that research yet. I've been working on it all night. I promise I'll get it to you later. And Idamir, she just kind of waves them off, and she's like, "I'm not here for that. I just need a spot where me and my guests can have a conversation." The everybody's like, yes, we'll empty. There's no class going on in the classroom. You can have the whole classroom to yourself. Excellent. And leads you into the classroom.
I would have rather gone with the crimson hooded guy.
Yeah, he had better vibes.
For sure.
Jeez. Oops.
So, yes, you defeated the necromancy then, correct?
Easily.
She
There's no problem.
she immediately like turns to you, and she's gonna do a quick do me a charisma check. Actually, that'd be better.
Okay. Charisma.
Wow.
Good roll.
Always be wary of people too sure of themselves. It's that overconfidence that can get you killed quicker than anything.
My overconfidence has only gotten others killed. Opponents, typically.
Eventually she kind of like sits on the kind of like finds a nearby bench, kind of just sits on it. I don't know where you guys are sitting.
It's a class. The desks.
Okay. So, well, there's these benches over here, and
Yeah.
then there are these desks here.
Mary's still just kind of gonna stand, probably against the wall,
Okay.
blend in with the wall.
I
Therum slides into one of the desks.
Oh gosh, the one thing I didn't really hit on with you guys is the sheer amount of people. There are way more people here than you've ever seen before in your life. Like the city of Vassus, around 2,000 people. This is to you. This is a metropolis.
Yeah, it ain't home.
Anyways, I digress. So, Idamir, she, you defeated the necromancers easily, from what I understand. Did you find any of their materials?
What materials do you speak of?
Spells. Spells, Limwalker. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not like how you can just have magic. We humans actually have to work for it.
It's snappy.
Okay. No need to get like that. I believe we did find some scrolls there.
Show me.
Did we?
You found you did find a necromancer's tome.
Yeah, there's a giant ancient tome.
Oh no, that's
our...
different. That's different. There's like
Oh, that's a different one.
You have an ancient tome that you found in the ruins, but then yes, I also believe that you found one of the necromancer's spell books.
Can I just give her one of the sleep scrolls and be like, this is one we found?
You could. She looks it over and goes, "This is just a sleep spell. Are you sure this is what the necromancers were using?"
Oh no, that was just one we found there.
Don't see the other one.
Out of character, do we have the tome on us?
No, or at least I'm not seeing it in the hall.
Well,
Yeah.
maybe you guys forgot to record, but I'm fairly sure I remember that it wasn't when you killed the big group of necromancers, but when you killed that one lone necromancer, I believe you took his spell book. Or Orntish. Oh yeah, Orntish did.
Yeah.
Orntish has it.
Tish, the seventh silent member of our court. You have it somewhere, don't you? Yes, yes, I do. I don't remember how Tish even sounds. Fuck.
I didn't use a funny voice for her, so.
Oh.
Yeah, just my normal talking voice.
Mm. I, for one, would retcon that, but I'll leave it to y'all.
Make her sound like ridiculous now.
Well, no, the fact make it so that she came along, or at the very least gave us the book.
Oh,
Why would she do that?
Yeah. So
We didn't know they were going to ask for this.
That's true. They didn't know. So, nah, we have a book that we pilfered from them, but we had no idea that's what you wanted, so it's back at our encampment.
You,
An easy thing to
you,
rectify.
you-
Ride back and get it.
you have the necromancer's materials unguarded?
Oh no, they're guarded. Good lord. But like we couldn't decipher the we couldn't decipher the Necronomicon.
Oh,
Hmm.
some of us have been busy.
Jeez.
I have reason to believe that while it did not come from my guild, the Masons Guild, here, I do believe that it came from somewhere in the upper echelons of the Kingdom of Vassith. There's other ways to use necromancy, you understand? Sometimes you can use magic, yes, but then there is also the study of study under the tutelage of, and she looks around very suspiciously. Chernabog. And as she says that, like the candles in the room dim a little bit.
What does she say?
Chernabog.
Guildford will nod knowledgeably.
So Chernabog, yeah, I guess it's never really been mentioned before, but Chernabog is the god of evil in the setting of Corum. Cosgrove defeated Chernabog and ascended to godhood. That's part of Cosgrove's story and why he's like the god, the lawful god.
And what did she say right before, like leading up to his name?
Oh, like, yeah, one way to get necromancy is to use magic. The other way is to make a pact with Chernabog.
The lights go.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that sounds like nasty business.
Are you pals with Chernabog?
She gives you a look like no,
Did
she
you just?
yeah. Did you seriously? I believe if my suspicions are correct, I think the High Bishop Elutrius is the one responsible for the undead.
Was that the dude in red?
Yes. Always that blood red going on about Cosgrove's sacrifice. Those. I'm sorry, those religious types. It's not that I don't believe in the existence of gods. Obviously, Cosgrove exists. I just don't think he's worthy of worship.
Mary keeps his mouth shut this time.
My word, what leads you to believe that he is working? Sorry, what was the name of the
Elutrius.
Elutrius?
The bishop.
Elutrius has always been too clean. I believe he is in league with Chernabog. And she kind of squints one eye and nods, like, you know how suspicious old people are.
Sure.
Yeah.
Has he been doing anything sketchy?
Manipulating a bunch of masses into supporting a god they've never spoken to. I'd say that's pretty sketchy.
Well, what do you believe in?
Knowing, Limewalker, I believe in knowing, and knowing being the highest state of being. Because without knowing, we are not really doing anything. We are merely animals crawling around the earth.
Hmm.
What do you want to know?
Right now, I want to know who started the necromancy, because that has put great suspicion on my guild, as you could probably understand. You guys actually encountered the necromancers, so you have unique first-hand knowledge, and that is what you know.
Mhm.
We know how to kill them.
So what do we know, or refresh my memory? What do we know about the? We fought like a group of like head necromancer guys. Um, did we find any information about them after we killed them? Like, were there any markings that we can think back on and like remember were important, or were they just faceless boobs?
So they were like, when you guys attacked them, they were in the middle of some kind of pep talk. One of them was trying to inspire the others. Um, the other, oh, there were also those daggers that you destroyed. That's your other clue.
Okay, what do they look like?
The daggers,
Was
they
it the antlers on stone? Is that the group? I think I missed that session. That's why I'm clarifying.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Also, when you strike them with a hammer and try to destroy them, you get visions, disturbing visions.
Oh, gosh darn it! I actually right. In regard to that, I am going to retcon one thing. When Idamir said Chernabog and the lights dimmed, Therum, for a moment, you see a figure dressed in all orange. It's got an orange chaperon, orange puffy shirt, and orange gambeson, orange puffy trousers, and orange leather boots. Uh, Eyes filled with fire. Um, and he makes he's like standing in the room, kind of leaning on the wall just for a second, but as soon as you try and look over to get a better look at him, he's gone.
Hmm. Did I see this figure during my visions, or did this feel familiar to me?
Yeah, every time you've destroyed a dagger, that's what's happened.
But the same with this vision of this figure, like I had the same feeling as when I was striking the daggers.
Yep.
I think I'm more familiar with this Chernabog than
The rest of us?
yeah, but not any necessarily tangible knowledge.
You've
Just
just been intimate without realizing
right. Yes.
it.
Wait, you have seen him?
Yeah, he was
Only in
just here.
only in visions, and when you said his name, I struck the. We destroyed the daggers, and as I struck them, I was uh, uh, I had a un, I had disturbing and terrifying visions. I can only assume that this Chernabog is behind this these visions, but I don't necessarily know what they mean.
Yeah, as you guys are talking, the atmosphere gets really tense for a second. Idamir leans in, listening in. Then all of a sudden, the door opens and a couple students walk in, and it's like, "Yeah, I guess I'm gonna be ready for that midterm later." And then they both look up and see all of you, and to see Idamir staring daggers at them, and she yells, "Get out! Get out right now!" And they just leave.
Run away!
Idamir walks over to you, Therum, and is like, "If Chernobog is involved, we will have to be very careful with who we share this knowledge with. Talk of Chernobog can get people like me burned at the stake. And even if you are heroes of the West March, much of the kingdom still sees you as the vagabonds of the North Shore. And if you start going around talking about Chernobog, they're gonna think you're heretics as well."
Even if we see Chernobog as a threat.
Those that talk about or having visions of demons usually will be treated as witches.
Well, that's ominous.
So then you understand that we all have to be quiet about this.
Theron starting to realize that he's in more danger than he had thought. Becomes very nervous.
Yeah. Kinda.
Actually, at that feeling of you feeling nervous and just as your heart is sinking in, for a second you can almost hear a snickering.
Theron shudders and just kind of falls silent, not really knowing what to say.
Meredith wants to pat Therum on the back and say, "But if we didn't share our information, our group wouldn't be where we're at today."
You can trust each other. That's good. But I wouldn't put your trust in the citizens around here. They are a superstitious and stupid lot.
Duly noted.
What of the king?
Limwalker's
And the
trying to
court,
get
for that matter.
Now, Limwalker's trying to get me to trip over my words.
Well,
Or
I
the rest of the
think
court,
we
even.
should know if we can.
I would not.
He is the king.
I would not bring this to the attention of the king. For now, all he thinks. For now, all they think is that you may be necromancers, but no one is sure. If you talk about all this involvement with the old god of chaos, they'll suspect that you're in league with them. So, we must investigate, but at the same time, we can't let our intentions be known. We'll have to play this close to the chest, lest our enemies figure out. And if Chernobog is involved, and actually, she stops herself from saying it. And if he's involved, then he is, of course, watching from his own twisted viewpoint. And she kind of looks around the room suspiciously.
Well, if we figure out who is behind these association with the individual in question. We will attempt to bring the information to you. Do you have any information for us that might lend hints to how we might proceed?
All I can say is your presence here is, for the most part, a blank slate. If I go around asking questions, people will immediately lock up tight and not give anything willingly. But maybe if you were to. Okay, meta talk here. Go around and do some quests. Maybe you can find something, uh, uh, gain the trust of a citizen here, and maybe they can enlighten you as to where the necromancer insider is.
Who would we talk to about the history of the castle itself?
I guess the king's hand? He handles most of the day-to-day stuff. I guess he would have that.
Yeah. Okay. For so many parts of this castle and town looking so old, it seems really well kept. But the old parts are curious.
There are a vast array of sewers under this city as well. We don't actually utilize much of it. But it would seem that this fortress housed many more people than live here now.
Very interesting. I bet even if we didn't find a lot of people, we might find some places that could provide some answers.
Okay, so now with the main quest understood, is there any clarification on the main quest here?
Nope. I think
We've
we're
just
ready to
been
get to
enlisted to go and be greater than we have been and take care of some things that other people can't get their hands dirty with or haven't figured out how.
Yeah, the major objective: find the necromancer, who again Idamir suspects it's the priest, but Idamir, as it has been established, she has implicit biases, so she may be wrong. But yes, the thing is that she suspects there's a necromancer threat still lingering in the city. You guys have to find it. That's the major objective. How you do that, right? The runs in the ladder, so to speak, is you guys doing quests here in the hopes of gaining the trust of the civilians so you can find out information.
Okay.
And that is what we call a good open-ended objective. Take notes, Fallout 4.
Okay.
Somebody has beef with Fallout.
Well, just Fallout 4. No, I've ranted on it about my stream enough. Any regular watcher of my stream knows my feelings on Fallout 4.
It's all side quests, man.
But with that, but without getting into that rant, so yes, I will now pull you guys to the city map. Idamir basically lets you go, but does kind of part you with the words, "I'll be watching."
Of course you will.
everyone should be watching. We're going to do great things. I need a cape.
You need a cape?
Yeah, so that I can make a dramatic exit with my cape
Yeah.
fluttering in the wind.
Oh, yes.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Is your work here done?
Yeah, my
Yeah.
work here is done. I will, I don't know, brush my hair back as I leave.
When
Turn
we're
with
away from her, I want to just like kind of mention to the party members like she was awful adamant about not letting people in on this. Seemed
Oh,
kind of
well, of course she
sketchy.
was. Yeah, no, like I don't get good vibes from her regardless of what she said. At all.
So I do feel that the fewer people we loop into what's going on, the better.
That's probable, but I'm sure through our various ways and crafts we can gather the information we need to get ourselves around. Definitely still want to investigate a bit more about the total structure of town and castle, because if uh, we're going up against somebody who's ancient, this town seems like it's got some ancient parts. Boom.
Boom.
Copper District. Where's
Okay, so shall we poke around town?
Uh-huh.
Yes. That seems to be our directive at the moment.
Where are we currently? Or where are we
Right
going?
in the
You're
middle-ish.
you're in the castle. You're still within the castle grounds. The tower, which is the Masons Guild, is not far from the inner castle walls. Like it's just right outside. And yeah, walking outside of the Masons Guild, you can see not far from you is a plaza and the church's ward. Actually, yeah, you guys are more effectively in the church's ward than you are the castle, but you're kind of in that penumbra.
So 3, 4, or 5. The back wall, back to the gate, or the Copper District.
Yes. Where should the investigation proceed?
Well, we came in through the 4, right?
Yeah, 4.
Mm.
I'm
So
voting
just
3 or 5 myself.
yeah. Did we
Back
see
wall or the
anything as we
Copper?
passed through 4 that would be interesting? I mean, I know we didn't like explore it, but did we happen to see anything on our way in?
I think really it was just the note about structures being well maintained. Some of them, though, are obviously old pieces.
Yeah. So I will say that you did get a look at the Copper District. Copper District looks mostly like a shanty town. Um, but yeah, you did see like some guilds happening in there, but not a lot of guilds, meaning like not a lot of shops there, but there were some. Merchant's Gate had way more shops. And like there is a small shanty town inside Merchant's Gate, but it's mostly the gate and guilds.
Guilds means that there's people which would have information. Um, Me, again, generally being a loner, I tend to walk off path, so that's part of why I still vote searching like just areas, but that's me. If y'all have some other interests that we should pursue, we can do that.
Um, remember she did mention that the sewers might hold some keys. There's some parts that they don't use.
Mm-hmm.
Could be places where denizens might use to hide out.
Yeah.
Hmm. Maybe we should make our way down there.
Sounds as good a chance as any.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh,
Find a sewer entrance.
Okay, so you guys. Okay, so on the southwest side is part of the old sewer system that's connected kind of through this really awful canal that connects to the walls, acts as a moat, but smells awful, and that's the back wall. The canal runs along the back wall. Uh, uh, Walking around here, everybody's wearing like cloth masks from the smell, or burning sage. Lots of burning sage. But yeah, you guys walk around until you encounter a little cross section where there's a little tavern, and the tavern's name is the Heavy Bender,
Mm.
and it's a small little place. Let me get you the map. So you guys are kind of on the southwest side of town. You're actually outside of the city walls.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can see there's a bunch of broken down houses that beggars are squatting in. Yeah, actually, there are some people begging you for money. Please, please, just a few copper, please. Hold on, let me roll a number to see, because yeah, you guys are kind of in a slummier part of town.
Uh-huh.
You didn't. It's not something you intended, but based on like how you were navigating town, it seems absolutely reasonable. This is where you ended up, and yeah, a group of 7 beggars accost you,
Oh,
begging you for money.
jeez.
Their tunics and trousers are torn. They have no shoes. Well, and if they do have shoes, they're very worn. And yeah, they're missing teeth, and yeah, they look just ragged. And yeah, they're like, please, some money, please.
Okay. I start handing out money.
Okay, just
Guilford the Grand favors you, my friends.
oh, thank you, sir, thank you. How much are you giving him?
Fine.
Yeah, how much are you
How
giving
much
them?
on hand? I'll give them all but one of my monies. So 8 silver and 7 gold.
Wow, that's generous.
Holy crap! Yeah, they're like, oh, thank you, Mister. Thanks,
Guilford the Grand was
Oh,
the
we're
name.
fucked.
Guilford. Yes, yes. Thank you, good sir. Many will know of your generosity.
That's what I didn't want.
Guilford.
Um,
Guilford's out to make a name for himself.
the beggars do leave you alone, and like they just kind of run off.
Well, they got at least a silver each out of that, so. Wow. They just had a heyday.
Well, they won't forget the generosity.
Oh, that's for sure. Hopefully
sure.
that only goes to some good ears.
Yeah.
Bananas.
So yeah, there's the tavern, the Heavy Bender. You guys are still kind of on the outside. You know, you're standing kind of in the middle of this alleyway.
Merritt's ready to walk in and have a drink after all that's happened in this last couple hours.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, you walk in. There's a bunch of sage burning. It's pretty dimly lit. Um, you walk by and there's one guy and he's got some missing fingers and like a scar down his eye. Um,
Sweet.
and he's
Battle worthy.
and as you walk by, he's kind of got his hand on the hilt of his sword, like with his good hand, like kind of eyeing you suspiciously.
With his one eye.
With his one eye, yeah. Another person is like sharpening their knife, like
This scene seems familiar.
so. Yeah, basically, it's like bunch of shady characters.
Oh, goody.
I feel like we just walked onto the pirate ship in the original animated Peter Pan.
Um, yeah, and so yeah, of course, the bartender's is bald and has an eye patch and is like polishing forever and ever polishing a glass. And has a tattoo like a shirt with no sleeves, and has a anchor on his shoulder. Yeah, there we go.
Papa. Merritt walks straight up to the bar to order a drink. Uh, Not necessarily looking directly at anybody, but definitely uh, keeping an eye open, if you will. Is there anybody at the bar itself?
Yeah. There's a bartender. Yeah, there actually is another guy. Hold on. Let's throw an NPC into the mix. Why not?
No elves in there aside from us, I'm guessing.
Yep, you are the only elves. Um,
That's all right, cousin.
there's a big, tall, fat guy, white guy, in his mid 40s. He's got short red hair, but a big, bushy red beard. He's got tattoos all over his arms, and fairly scruffy looking. Like just with his patched leather armor, looks very worn with his boots. And
How does he regard me as I walk up to the bar?
he kind of looks up and he looks you up and down, looks at your shoes and goes, "Well, there's a sign of a worn traveler if I ever did see one. You thirsty? Let me buy you a drink of this poison they call beer."
That sounds great. I was gonna ask for a recommendation.
I would recommend finding another place to drink. The bartender
Oh.
the bartender looks nonplussed. He
Oh,
holds out his hand and he goes, "Roderick, Tyrell, people call me Red Hand."
red hand. Roderick. Oh, well, you're quite the guy, aren't you? You seem like you've had a few days yourself.
Ah, trying to get it on one day at a time. Now that that whole Nerton business is done with, I guess they'll have me walking up and down the roads again. I kind of liked it being stuck in this castle.
Mm.
It's boring, but I still got paid for sitting on my butt and drinking beer. So,
What are you, a messenger?
nah, Rangers Guild, friend.
Rangers Guild, huh?
Yep, yep. We escort royalty in and out of the castle to the countryside.
Oh, us too.
Oh? What outfit you with?
Um,
We're
I am.
the heroes of Westmarch.
Here's Westmarch. I never heard of Westmarch. Where's that?
We're new.
Well, it's out in the west,
Out
in the
west.
marches.
He's like, ha! Dwarf's making a joke. I like it. I'll get you a beer too. He kind of looks at you, Therum, and you, Stickbeard, and your beards, and goes, "You ain't from the west.
No, we're. Oof.
Those dwarves actually take care of their beards, but your guys' beards, wow, oof."
I told you we should have washed that with soap yesterday.
getting,
I
getting.
looked for the soap, but somebody hid it or used it.
I'll make some more when we get back. So Red Hand, Rangers
me.
Guild. Has that kept you fairly busy?
Not as busy as my other job. And then when he says that, he kind of has this look of uncertainty, like, maybe I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said that. I most certainly shouldn't have said that.
Well, you did. And you said you've been sitting here for a while, so maybe your other job is taking priority?
Um, the bartender's now kind of giving him giving Red Hand like an angry look.
I pry.
You ain't.
Let's just enjoy the drinks.
You guys ain't with the crown, are you? I mean, here's Limwalkers, so obviously not. But you know, you're not. You're not a cop, are you?
Oh, hell no.
Uh,
A-cab, all the way.
Everybody kind of relaxes now a little bit when you say that.
Yes.
I would say most certainly not. We're purely adventurers.
Adventures. Oh yeah, well, I know a guy who might want some adventures.
You know a guy who
Who's
might
that?
want some adventures, huh?
What might need adventurers?
Oh.
He gives the bartender a look, and the bartender's like, he finally puts the towel, he slaps it, draping it over his shoulder, and he walks back, pulls a key from his pocket, unlocks the door, walks in the back room, shuts it, locks it behind him.
Wow, he's got prissy, isn't he?
Well, looks like you're gonna meet the man himself. Good luck. And he picks up his beer and walks away from the bar.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Out from the door opens, and some heavy boots thud. This guy's tall, average build,
Excuse
but
me.
still like imposing because of how tall he is. But he's not like skinny. Middle aged. He's got a scar that goes across his cheek in kind of this hook shape.
Rad.
He's got just like these sly looking green eyes, dark hair that's slicked back in a ponytail. He's wearing like fine tunic of red and yellow and puffy trousers with heavy boots. As he Walks over. So, yeah. From what I'm gathered, you're a bunch of adventurers.
Absolutely.
That's a funny thing. I'm in the market for some adventurers.
Is that so?
Ah, yeah.
What kind of what kind of number of adventurers? What I mean, do you just need like one of them? Do you need like an army?
I don't know how many people want in on this cut, because it's a pretty big score.
Mm-hmm. Cut score. Are you saying you would like to employ some adventurers here?
He kind of rolls his eyes and goes,
What do
"Hey,
you need done?
you no." He goes, "You two." He like points at the rest of the patrons. He goes, "Everybody, get out except for you," and he points at all of you. Hey Sal, get the map. The bartender comes back. He pulls out a map. It looks like an old, and had I been prepared, I actually would have had a map ready to some extent. But just imagine this map. It looks handwritten and fairly new. This is something I scored from the cartographer. Just say, fell off a cart. Anyways, this is the most recent map of the sewers and found some areas, and he points to certain corridors, and it's like untouched, you know, or like not discovered yet effectively, and goes, these new areas are probably loaded with treasure. Thing is, there's also probably nasty things protecting that treasure. So, I thinks to myself, a few capable adventurers such as yourselves could, maybe get that treasure for me.
Or we could just take you along with us and we could all get it together.
I'm busy here running things at the bar, as you can see. And then, kind of cuts to the bar being empty.
Uh-huh.
Lots
Yeah,
going on. Lots going on.
Yeah,
See, business is
we
booming.
noticed. You told your only two other patrons to leave. You're busy.
Buddy, I'm the one with the money, and you're the one with the skills.
Oh.
Two kinds of people here, right? I'm the one with the money, and you're the one who wants the money.
And how much money might this be?
Oh, see, now we're talking. Now we got ourselves a negotiation started.
Yeah, that's not me. I just like to poke at people. So I'll let the other members of our party take this one.
I assume such a dangerous excursion with risking life and limb, yada yada yada. With the current rates of inflation, we'll go with 2,500 gold pieces.
Whoa! What is it that you want us to do?
I have reason to believe that those undiscovered territories might be jam-packed with so much treasure that the 2,500 I give you is only a part of it. But here's the thing. If you go down there and I find out that you sold that treasure, I'll know. I have a relationship with all the pawnbrokers here in Vassith.
Well, who's to say it gets sold?
If you sit on that treasure, it'll be worth nothing to you. But if we can cooperate, maybe I can even part with you some of that treasure you find too. Just to sweeten the deal. We'll call it a finder's fee.
What do you guys think?
I'd say if we get to pick the pieces.
Can we pick the pieces?
He thinks for a second, goes, "We'll let you pick one piece.
Each.
We'll let you pick two pieces."
3 and it's a deal.
Ah, check out a go on this limb walk. He kind of like looks up at you because he's shorter. Oh wait, no, I did say that he's tall, so he's about the same height as you. Yeah, he looks at you and goes, "Check out this limb walk over here." And he holds out his hand heartedly. It's a deal.
Give it a good shake.
Pleasure doing business with you. Now, just make sure you don't double cross me, okay? Wouldn't want anything bad to happen as a result.
As long as we don't feel any shade coming from you, that shouldn't be a problem.
I'm glad we could reach an arrangement. Now, if you excuse me, I have other enterprises to manage. And he closes the door, and you hear, like, for a second, you hear muffled yelling, like, "No, I swear I don't know. Oh, ah, ooh, ow."
Damn.
Meanwhile, the bartender, and while that's happening, the bartender's just looking at you like nothing's going on.
But you heard nothing.
Yeah, basically, like.
Group powwow, is anybody not feeling this? Or was that the right call?
Oh, I think it was fun.
Oh, I'm feeling it. I'm sure this is going to turn out swale.
I agree. We get 3 pieces. I wasn't really paying enough attention to know what pieces of what, but I'm pretty sure that 3 is pretty impressive.
We get 2,500 and we get to pick 3 pieces of the treasure that we
Discover.
get.
What kind of treasure we know that some treasure exists, like the treasure that the Kraken is guarding, so I hope he's not interested in that.
Well, no, we're talking specifically about the sewers here in the city.
All right.
Because
What map is
he had a semi-updated map of sewers and some unexplored areas. And the rumor is that there's a lot of goodies in those unexplored areas. He's too busy to go get it himself, so he was looking for people like us to go get it. And as
Yeah, we'll do it. Of course, how is he going to know if there's something down there that we like and we just don't,
Well, we don't get paid if we don't turn something back into him.
Oh, yes, but how will he know?
He said he has a relationship with a lot of the pawnbrokers, but
Yeah,
who's
well,
to
we
say a
didn't
ring
sell
doesn't
it,
get
but if we
melted
sat on it
down?
and we didn't give him anything that we found down there, we don't get the cash from him.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
sure, we
No,
keep all the pieces, but no cash. We kind of
Oh,
need
yeah.
cash in order to build
Also,
our.
he's kind of declared a vendetta on us if we do that. So
Yeah.
Sure.
Like double crossing the mafia. Yeah, usually turns out well, right?
Yeah, if you like horse heads.
Oh, jeez.
I've been looking for a new, heavier set of shoes. I heard they're pretty good cobblers.
There you go.
Yeah, I say we do it. Why not? 3
Sure.
pieces and 2,500 gold pieces. All right.
And
That's
you're,
a lot of money.
yep, yeah. From legitimate businessmen running legitimate businesses.
Yeah, I'll never agree to that term, but all right. So, he, I assume, uh, left the map laying there for us before he walked away, or did
Yeah,
he
I
hand it
mean
directly to one of us?
Sal, the bartender, rolled it up and then handed it to you.
Okay. Took that in the nappy knapsack. Yes.
And the bartender says, "If you get caught with it, we never met you."
Who are you again?
Exactly. Now get out of here.
I need a drink for the road.
Oh, you want a drink for the road, huh? And then he throws you out the window. No.
Oh my gosh.
No. Yeah. Yeah. He's like, fine, fine. He pours like a beer in like a. It may or may not be a clean jug.
No, he can just top off my flask.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he tops off your flask and it's like, now get out of here.
I
All right,
assume we
kid.
get out of here.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah,
kids.
let's get out of here.
Everybody grab a hand.
Before we leave, I say, who cleans the bottom of the ocean? A mermaid.
Ha 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 ha.
Mm,
The bartender scoffs. Okay, I will go back to the city map, and I think we have time for one more point of interest. If you guys are, because we're at the 2.5
Yeah.
hour mark, one more point of
Alright.
interest.
sounds good.
Okay, back to the Kingdom of Vassith. So you guys you basically kind of followed the canal around the back wall and ended up in the bad part of town, and somehow found your way into the mafia. So
Yeah, we'll see.
Oops.
we accidentally joined the mafia.
Nobody
Incidentally.
stopped me.
Or maybe we just got them to join us.
Hmm.
One of those is worse, I'm pretty sure.
Anyway, so yeah, strolling on out of the tavern. Little sippy sips going on as we're walking along. I'll take whatever path anybody else is up for. We got to go to one of the places I was after.
Uh-oh.
Oh, somebody dropped off.
With me.
No, it was Rob. Rob dropped. Oh
no!
no. I think he's. He's texting, but yeah. Go ahead and I guess go ahead and discuss where you'd go next. I'll handle this communication with Rob here.
Where would the rest of you kids like to go? Do you want to
In the
check out
sewers.
shops, or do you want to go check out more shanty slummy areas? Or do you want to go back to the KK Castle or the church?
Hmm.
Let's
Um,
see.
I
We
don't
could
need
go
to go to the
visit
shop.
Coffee and
We kinda
imagine
spent all
Yeah.
all the things we could get with that 2,500 gold pieces, right?
Yeah.
It is a truth.
I'm up for whatever. I'm just throwing stuff out.
I mean, gosh, that would increase our haul of gold coins by a third.
We'd almost have enough to build a small shed.
Yeah.
That's more of a building than we have right now. I don't know that our building has a roof, does it?
I think it's technically open with like maybe some partial covered areas that are left.
Yeah.
Or we could refurbish the area we're in. Take care of that Kraken while we're at it.
Oh, we will someday.
The Kraken is high on the to-do list.
I just want to drop a giant spear down in that hole and pull it up and then carve away and eat it for days.
We could also just try and like find one more quest. I don't know like how much time
Oh yeah, that's true.
that would take. So like we could just like collect one more.
I think that's kind of what Abacus was alluding to in points of interest, which was like we could go to where the guilds are, which means there's going to be a lot of people and probably a lot of quest opportunities, or we can go to the slummy area over in the Copper District, and we may or may not find another quest there. I'm sure we probably find one at the church too, but I'm less inclined to do that myself.
What do you guys think about visiting the guild thing?
Yeah. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
So over to the gate we go. Forward.
Going to Merchant's Gate.
Yeah, check out the guilds area, walk around there, and see if there might be somebody else that's like, "Hey, I got a thing just for you."
Okay, so kind of two different places. There's the Castle Gates, which is Merchant's, what Merchant's Gate is named after, but all the guilds are inside the city actually a little bit. So if you look at number 4, right, the Merchants Guild, but then that orange shade
Yeah,
area.
that's what we were talking about. Was for inside the dark gray wall. Yeah.
Oh,
All the
okay.
orange buildings right there. I presume that's where all the guilds are at.
Yeah, so the shop. The shop. Oh, okay, you're going to the shopping district effectively. Okay. Understood. There you go. You find yourself in Market Square.
Ding. Who sees all the pretty flowers? Merritt runs over to the pretty flowers.
Okay, so what we have is a butcher shop, a bakery. You guys kind of come through this area. This is like an alleyway, courtyard area. You enter from the west, go eastward into this central plaza, and yeah, there's like a little bakery storefront, a butcher storefront. This is the smithy,
That one looks like a scripter's place, like
And-
papers.
and this is the cartographers.
Uh-huh. All right. Probably maybe have the cartographer look at our map. Maybe he can give us some information on when and who made it, and or maybe he has more.
If you
Or
recall,
better yet, we
wait,
can
wait,
call his map ready.
wait. The map that the guy who just gave you the map.
Yeah.
If you recall what he said, he found it from the cartographers. He said it fell off a cart. Ha ha ha. Yeah.
But again, we don't have to show it to them. That's why I said, or maybe they have more, like more maps that we could use.
Okay, let's establish that we're not going to show it to him. And yeah, let's take a look at their maps.
Okay, and it looks like Rob is having technical issues, so we'll just go on without him. Um, you guys go into the cartographer shop. Yeah, there's like stacks of paper strewn throughout. There aren't actually that many patrons in here, but the store is relatively well kept, and it does look like people would occasionally walk in. As soon as you walk in, there's the bell. There's like a little uh, doorbell thing that kind of rings, notifying the shopkeeper. And searching my mental palace. A lot of rooms in here. Okay, yes, you see a halfling with golden hair, and he's just smiling as he's just drawing a map. He's like seemingly on cloud nine. His clothes are like rainbows, just various colored clothes. And he's got like bracelets and a necklace on, and like he looks very fancy. And yeah, he's just like. And as the bell rings, he looks up and he goes, "Ah, yes, hello, welcome. How can I help you? Is there a map you're looking for in particular? Or perhaps you would like to hear the stories of my travels?"
Marin chimes in. Both actually sound fantastic.
Well, I have these maps that go back to the first King Evanson. They show, notice, there is a lack of towns. You see, Dovesport didn't even exist back then. That was later settled, and Maurice's Reach was merely a military fort.
That is very, very interesting. Do you have more maps that show what the town was and what the castle area was before now?
Oh, I am afraid that I have very little in that regard. I was in the process of mapping out the sewers, but one of my assistants got mugged. And unfortunately, he has quit the job. He says cartography is much too dangerous. I couldn't understand why anybody would mug him. Is there anything really down in the sewers worth killing over?
Did they
Understandable,
take his
but
life, or did they just steal from him? That's really unfortunate.
Oh, they roughed him up pretty good, but yeah, no, he was still alive.
That's good. I'm glad he survived. I'm sorry you guys had such a hit like that.
Well,
These maps are exquisite. How long have you been doing this?
oh, 50, 60 years maybe?
Wow. You seem to take quite a bit of joy in doing this.
Oh, yes. The maps themselves, they tell a story. And we just have to learn by learning how to read it.
What are your favorite stories through your maps?
Oh, definitely the runes that used to be here. Such mystery, no? They're they these people that created these runes, no one knows anything about them, and even years later, thousands of years later, when this other mysterious group of people settled into the runes, they were just as puzzled by the creation of the runes as we were, and then they themselves, the settlers, became a mystery.
That appears to be a reoccurring event around here.
Oh, please, do tell.
It just seems that like everybody we talk to is like, well, there was this one, you know, group or part of a race that was here at this point in history, and then all of a sudden they're a mystery. And somebody else comes in, and then the same thing for them. Like after a while, they just seem to disappear and become a mystery.
As is time's constant flow, will eventually, dare I say, such dark words, but makes a mystery of us all eventually.
Just seems for such a small area for people to just disappear like that. Makes me curious. That's all.
Oh, I don't think they disappeared. I think they eventually abandoned the city. And I think
Hmm.
that they experienced great seismic activity. I mean, those stories about a village so massive that it's sunk into the ground, or an empire so massive that it's sunk into the ground. It makes me think that whatever happened to them, the earthquakes, destroyed their settlements, and the original designers just left. And then when the
Hmm.
settlers came in and squatted in there, um, they eventually left as the ruins continued to sink into the ground. Perhaps we're unwise for staying in these ruins. Perhaps we'll end up one day sinking into the ground.
Hmm. I wonder if there's a connection to that.
Unfortunately, there isn't much known about the cultures. If only I could get my hands on, say, a big tome, I could potentially get some insight into what they were like.
Are you familiar with ancient writings?
Oh, yes, I have studied every language. And then he starts saying in Elvish, and I feel like my Elvish is pretty passable too. Actually, no, he says, instead of passable, he says possible.
I'll just give it to him and say, "Oh, very good."
Well, seems like you're
I think we've got an ancient, or we've got a tome in here somewhere. We're spotting it in the hall back home. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. You have such materials?
Of course, we collect all sorts of things on our adventures.
I'm sorry, adventurers. I see. Are you with the Rangers Guild?
Where?
not presently, no. We haven't joined any guilds. We're just a group that has been working together, and um, we've made our way to this fair town.
My
Uh,
friend is too modest. We are the heroes of the West March. We have single-handedly defeated the necromantic factions that plague this land and have put heinous dents upon the great beasts that wander it and terrorize it, as well as nearly wiping out the goblins that once raided our peoples.
uh, goblins, but goblins haven't been seen in this land for generations.
I will pull out a goblin grenade. I am afraid they have, and we've even retrieved some keepsakes.
The goblins are returning. But why?
I don't know, but they need these things. Show them the goblin grenade.
What?
Explode.
It explodes? He looks at the material, puzzled. And then, does the medieval thing where, to get a better look at it, puts it closer to a candle.
Mm.
Oh, I'm sure he knows
Somebody
what he's
grab
doing.
that.
Um, oh my, you have certainly had many travels. I would love to exchange stories. How long do you plan on staying in Castle Vassith?
Hmm, that's really a good question. It depends on how friendly we find people to be in our new adventure just visiting here.
Well, at the very least, we're staying the night. We don't plan on leaving before tomorrow. If you wanted to put us up, I have many grand stories for you.
Oh, remember, you do have a room at the Soldier Salvation.
We do, but
Oh, I see you. Okay. Um, well, I mean, I do have a small loft, but, it's kind of me-sized. He's a halfling.
yeah.
I'm sure I could squeeze some of you, some of the taller folk in, if you wish, but it might be a little cramped.
Oh, don't worry. I fold up. So where's this sleeping quarter?
So yeah, it's in the loft above his shop, effectively. He lives above his shop. He's got like a little kitchen area and bedroom area and sitting
Studio
area.
apartment.
Effectively, yeah. You still have to go outside on the street, and it all drains into a canal, and you now know where that canal goes.
Well, you've certainly been more hospitable than many of the other residents in the area towards us limb walkers, if you will.
Oh gosh, they sometimes call me Peck. I hate that.
That's so rude.
Yeah. Well, the city folk, especially the humans around here, present company excluded, of course, uh, really seem to enjoy mocking those who are different.
And I think most of the time it's just because their talents and skills require a bit more work.
All right. I think we'll end it there. I was going to go to the Soldier's Salvation a little bit, but that might open up into another 20
Yeah,
or
we
30
changed
minute.
we changed the course here.
Yeah. But you
Yeah.
guys end up, it's afternoon. You guys end up turning in at the Soldier's Salvation. Um, you are greeted by members of the King's Guard. That's who the white and gold knights are, with the shields, with the crown surrounding the shields. That's the King's
Mhm.
Guard. They they basically show you to a communal room where you all kind of share two beds for all six of you. All six of you have to
Okay.
share two beds.
Oh wow. So 3 to a bed?
Yep. You do have two
Been a
dwarves.
long time since we had
Yeah.
beds.
Yeah, that's true. These actually are beds, not the cots in the hospital and not the sleeping rolls that you've been camping with. These are
Mhm.
actual legitimate beds. Now, as far as the structure of them, they're these kind of rope beds where they kind of put in a bunch of rope, kind of weaved it to make the frame, and then they just put cushion on top of the rope. And that's what you're sleeping on. So it's kind of like it has some give like a hammock. But yeah, it's far more comfortable than the cots or the sleep rolls.
Hooray.
Okay, well we squeeze in, I guess.
Yep. And everybody, sleeps, sleeps tight. And
We're little sardines, that's all.
yep. And we will end the session there.
All
Thank you
right.
all for playing.
Thanks so much for
Thanks for running.
running it.
Yeah, thank you. And thanks to everyone for joining us.
Yeah, it's a pretty good sized session.
Right?
And thanks, chat, for watching. If you wanted to keep up on all serious industry streams, the best way to do that is to give this channel a follow. Alternatively, you can join us on Facebook, Discord, or Twitter, where we do stream announcements. There's also the website, shatteredempire.net. Shattered Empire is a post-apocalyptic interstellar synthwave-fueled tabletop RPG. If you go to the website right now, you can get the free alpha. The free alpha has everything you need to make a character, and if you're a crafty enough game master, you might be able to make your own campaign. So check that out. And until then, this is Abacus Fish, signing off.